If you were growing up in Britain during the 1960s, this video may bring back memories you haven't thought about in years. These aren't famous moments, they're quiet, everyday details. The kind of people who lived through 1960s Britain truly remember. Life felt different back then, not because it was perfect, but because it was slower. Days felt longer, the streets felt familiar, and time didn't feel like it was constantly running away. You didn't need much, just daylight, neighbours, routine, and the freedom to just be. Here is a list of memories that will make you want to go back to the 1960s. Number 10 is my favourite. 1. Streets full of children. In the 1960s, you didn't go home and disappear indoors after school. You dropped your bag and went straight back outside. There was the sound of footballs thudding against brick walls, the scrape of shoes on pavement, laughter echoes between rows of houses. You didn't need permission. You didn't need a plan. If there were children outside, that was enough. It wasn't about entertainment or supervision. It was about freedom shared, noisy and uncomplicated. In quiet ways, that made the world feel wide and welcoming. 2. Walking to school on your own. In the 1960s, you didn't get dropped off at school. You walked, rain or shine. There was the sound of your shoes tapping the pavement, the familiar corners you turned every morning, the quiet comfort of seeing the same faces along the way. Sometimes you walk alone. Sometimes you join others without planning it. It wasn't about independence being forced on you. It was about trust, quiet, assumed trust. Without you realizing it at the time, that made you feel capable. 3. Kitchens that were always in use. In the 1960s, the kitchen was the heart of the house. You didn't just pass through it, you gathered there. There was the sound of the kettle boiling again and again, the clink of cups, the smell of tea, toast or something simmering. People drifted in and out, conversations overlapped, nothing felt rushed. It wasn't about meals being perfect, it was about presence. Over time, that made the home feel solid and dependable. 4. Corner shops that knew you. In the 1960s, the corner shop wasn't just a place to buy things, it was part of the neighbourhood. There was the sound of the bell on the door, the sight of shelves packed tight, glass jars filled with sweets behind the counter. The shopkeeper knew your face, sometimes you knew your family. Sometimes they trusted you to come back with the money. It wasn't about convenience, it was about belonging. That quiet familiarity made the neighbourhood feel secure. 5. Saturdays with no plan. In those days, Saturdays weren't scheduled. You didn't organise them, you entered them. There was the sound of radios through open windows, the sight of people out and about, and the feeling that the whole day was yours. You didn't rush to fill the time, you let it unfold. It wasn't about productivity, it was about having time without pressure. That unhurried time made life feel generous. 6. One television shared by everyone. In the 1960s, there was usually one television, and when it was on, everyone watched together. There was the sound of familiar team tunes, the glow of the screen in a dim room, the routine of waiting for programs to begin. If you missed something, you missed it, and that made watching feel important. It wasn't about choice, it was about shared moments, and those shared moments were the ones that stayed with you. 7. Seeing the same faces every day. In the 1960s, you didn't constantly meet new people, you met the same ones again and again. There was the sound of familiar greetings, the sight of people in the same places at the same time, a sense of knowing who belonged where. If someone wasn't there one day, you noticed. It wasn't about surveillance, it was about recognition. That sense of recognition made the world feel smaller and safer. 8. Rain never cancels play. Rain didn't stop anything. You carried on anyway. Wet coats, cold fingers, shoes soaked through. You laughed louder, you ran faster. In its own way, that made childhood feel tougher and freer. 9. Evenings that slowed the day down. Evenings didn't rush, they settled. Lights came on one by one, curtains were drawn, the outside world grew quiet. The day ended gently. That gentle ending made rest feel natural. 10. Time passing without being measured. You didn't track time, you felt it. No clocks in your pocket, no constant reminders. Hours slipped by unnoticed. Because of that, life felt calmer. Life wasn't perfect, but it felt steadier. Days followed a rhythm you didn't have to think about. Mornings began gently, evenings settled naturally. The world felt smaller, not limited, but familiar. Not because people were better, but because they were present. More human because life moved at the speed of people, not machines. You weren't pulled in a dozen directions at once. You finished one moment before moving to the next. And you didn't know how rare that was because you were living inside it. The 1960s didn't give us everything, but it gave us something rare. A sense of rhythm, a sense of familiarity, and memories that never leave us. These weren't special occasions, they were just everyday life. And that's why they stayed with us. Which of these do you remember most, and where in Britain did you grow up? Share your memories in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any video that will help you keep your childhood memories alive.